Does this sound familiar? We've just been through the prophecies about no bone shall be broken. Well, the Passover lamb, which was taken 4 days before Passover into the house, would be killed on Nisan 14. It is the Lord's Passover. You have to eat of the flesh. You have to take the blood and put it over the doorposts, and you're not allowed to break any bones. That's the type. The fulfillment of the anti-type is incredible. 4 days before his death on the cross, the Sanhedrin met, and they decided to condemn Jesus to death. Incredible. By their evil intentions, they had set Jesus aside at the same time as the Passover lamb was being set aside. So, because the system, the sacrificial system, had not been done away with, the priest who was fulfilling his duties took the Passover lamb and put him inside on the same day that Jesus, by the Sanhedrin, had been condemned to death. On the 9th hour, according to Mark 15, verse 34 and 37, at the 9th hour, Jesus cried, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And Jesus cried with a loud voice and gave up the ghost. This is the fulfillment of the Passover lamb. Every year at Passover, the Passover lamb was offered at 3 p.m. And this 9th hour was 3 p.m. While the priests were preparing the Passover lamb in the sanctuary, Christ was being put to death outside on a cross. They were putting the true Lamb of God to death, but they didn't even recognize their own prophecies because they were busy with the sanctuary lamb or with the Passover lamb, and type was about to meet anti-type. Just as with the Passover lamb, none of Jesus' bones were broken, and he was pierced by a spear in the side. Just as the Passover lamb, none of its bones were broken, and it was pierced with a skewer to put it on the roast. Phenomenal. The Passover type was fulfilled in the antitype. It was a complete connection between the two. There was only 4 days. Some people say, well, Jesus, if you go according to the studies, you'll see that he was crucified on the Wednesday. Well, that's if you don't understand the idea of inclusive reckoning, which is the style of writing at the time, where a day mentioned in the word is actually inclusive of any part or portion of that day. And if he were crucified on the Wednesday, it wouldn't have been a full fulfillment of the Passover lamb. Type, Passover lamb had met anti-type in Jesus Christ.